Well, a very pleasant good afternoon and welcome to Championship Sunday here at the LOTTE Open. It is down to two, and quite frankly, there is really only one favorite at the moment. When we left you yesterday, it was pretty tight in the leaderboard. That gap has increased. Overcast skies right now out at Bears Best here in Chungna, 26 degrees. 50% chance of rain as the afternoon progresses, and the winds are quite calm today. Relatively speaking, of course, the specific number at the moment, we are looking at 17 kilometers an hour out of the south-southwest, gusting up to 28 kilometers an hour. Jung Eugene is our leader. She is at 15 under par through 8 holes. It has been a roller coaster round for her. Double bogey and eagle both in the round, and then found a birdie a couple of holes ago. Added another at the last. She is 2 under and has 6 strokes between she and EA1. Here is her approach. Nicely up onto the green. She has been putting well. She has been pin seeking as well to start the day. This featured group having teed off at 10:45 local time. 2 hours and 16 minutes ago and nearly halfway through their round. You can see the long snaking line of supporters continuing to grow by the minute. They know who the champion is likely to be, and aside from a few true supporters of specific players out on course, all the action is in the featured group. Check out this brilliant approach. Bounces once and pops up onto the green. A 4 under round in progress from Hanchin Sun. She is 4 under through 12 holes and is making a run at the podium, currently in a tie for third, up 13 spots, where she is sharing that 8 under score with 4 other competitors. Also on 9, Emi Jung putting for birdie. This would take her also to 8 under. Has a good attempt at it, but it's a miss to the inside right. Taps in for par. She's 3 over for the day. Bogeys at 4, 7, and 8. It's taken her down 6 spots into a share of 8th position with Soyeon Jung, who is also 3 over for the day. Both of those players in our featured group this afternoon, and both having Sundays that they wish they could have a do-over with. On to the 10th tee. EA1 in sole possession of second. She is 9 under and even at the turn. Able to find that drive into the fairway. Just a couple more birdies between now and the 18th will almost certainly guarantee the victory. Her ability to navigate the increasingly challenging conditions as this week has progressed and keep dropping in birdies time after time has been more than admirable. An opportunity for another birdie here at the 9th. It's about 5 meters away, a little right to left. Give herself too much room, too much anticipation of the break. So a tap in par. Never before has she won on the LPGA Tour of Korea. Twice a runner-up. Once in 2021 last season, the BC Card Hung Young Ladies Cup, and also back in 2020. Well, after a great up, this is what remains for a birdie, but too much break on it. A 2-putt par. Still doubling up her score after 54 rounds of play. And here's the situation at number 10. We have 1 in the bunker to the left side of the fairway, 2 in the fairway. And the woman in the bunker is Jihan Sol. She is 1 under through the day, out with a 35, been able to handle that first hazard nicely, but she's not left herself with much margin for error on the approach if she wants to work her way back up. Birdied the 2nd, birdied the 9th, so had a bogey at number 3. EA1, she birdied the 6th, bogeyed the last. Playing 5 wood. Well, she passes the tree and comes to rest the right side of the fairway with that little bit of rain we had earlier in the day. The greens, the fairways are playing, as you'd expect, a lot softer. To the par 3, Ko Chiu will not be able to reach 9 under here. Overhit and misaligned. So she will remain at 8 if she can find her par. Here's Lee Dae-yeon, 1 over for the day. On the right side of the fairway. And a line drive towards the left side. She will just stay in that perimeter second cut, avoiding the rough. She had bogeyed the first hole. It has been pars ever since. And speaking of pars, Ko Chiu is able to record another 3 birdies in her first 4 holes. She has since cooled off. Entered the weekend as the 10th best rookie on the LPGA Tour of Korea. And now our look at number 10, 484 meters, the first of 2 par 5s on the way in. There are sand traps lining each side of the fairway all the way down. 12 altogether, including the one off the front right of the green that seems to extend forever. The tree is 75 meters back of the pin, and the pin placement today here at the 10th is middle right, sort of in line with the back edge of that long sand trap. And the 10th also features, together with LOTTE, charitable target zone. Only 10 birdies have been carded today here at the 10th. And waiting for the fairway to clear before our leader can tee off. Had her birdie here in the opening round, pars in round 2 and in round 3. So while we wait for the fairway to clear with Jihan Sol still very much shallow in this fairway. We will watch her approach from 114 meters out. Takes a healthy divot with her, and where will this ball end up? Short and left. Outside of 10 meters for her forthcoming putt. Struggled a little bit with driver in the opening rounds, missing 4 fairways on each of Thursday and Friday. Yesterday, much better. 12 of 14, 86%. It's been the putter that's been doing the damage for her. She just clears the target zone. .82 putts through 54 holes of play entering today. On Amy Jung, it is precisely inside the target, so a good drive, and another donation can be added to our total this week. From beyond the tree at the edge of the fairway, EA1 looking for her 3rd consecutive birdie here at number 10. She'll get a nice spin back. Navigates the blustery conditions on the way down. It is 80 meters. And pitching up onto the green. That's good contact, and it's on line. Significant amount of backspin will take her back towards the fringe, but played it about as well as she could. The left to right, right at the pin. Hanjin Son, or Coach Yu, excuse me. That ball stayed almost perfectly straight until the very end, where it dove in the opposite direction of the cup. So it is another 2-putt par at number 13. The approach shot on 11, 5-iron from just inside of 150 meters. Here's Kim Soo-ji's efforts. Lands in the rough and unable to bounce out of it. Short of the green. And now Jihan Sol at the 10th. It is 13 meters out. 11% probability of finding birdie. She typically defies those metrics with putter. Comes up short this time, and despite her tee shot finding the sand, she lines up a short par putt and should be able to get out of here without dropping a stroke. Different feel with the 26-year-old than what we had last week at the 10th E1 Charity Open, where she was right in the race. It's also a different feel in general when we had 4 players battling to the very end of the round to force the playoff, where this week here in Cheongna, second through those at T8 is very tight, but there is quite the gap. Lee Dae-yeon can join EA1 at 9 under par with the birdie here. Looking a little left, and it is. So she will have to wait at least one more hole to try and get back to even par. Tap in to stay at 8 under. Well, after a nice tee shot to set up this second, Eugene goes to the left side of the tree and is about 80 meters back as she prepares her approach. Well, she needs a couple of bogeys at the top, and you'd imagine at least 3 birdies here on the way in. This is her first attempt on the back 9. And EA1 has left that to the inside of the hole. Eight birdies on the round now. And now Kim Soo-ji out of the rough. Wants to land this to our right of the pin. Hope she has the weight control. She's got both. That's an incredible attempt. Not only is she in search of her first victory, but this would be just the 3rd podium finish and the 10th time inside the top 10 in her very young career. Participated in one event in 2018 and really burst out onto the scene in 2019. Lee Dae-yeon will be ready for a tee shot before a featured group will be ready for their approaches. So let's go to 11. Only 63% fairways in regulation. And it looks like she might have another miss with driver. Entered the week 14th on 133 million won. 16th in the points is Lee Dae-yeon. Conversely, for her groupmate, EA1 has not missed a fairway yet today. She stays perfect with a nice drive at the 11th. Now we can rejoin Group 21. Imi Jung has a few leaves to contend with here. It's 104 meters out. Avoids the obstacle and will just stay on the green at the opposite side. She's gone left. It is 96 meters out. Hoping to get up to 80% greens in regulation with a nice approach here. And she's done just that. More than a handful of times the past 3 days we have seen Sung Yujin pick up birdies from that kind of distance. Definitely in her locker. So this is where we sit after the turn. Sung Yujin at 15 under par, 6 clear of EA1, and then a 5-way tie for third at 8 under par. Kwon So-yeon is 1 under today, another impressive showing from a rookie here at this Lotte Open. We'll take a quick break and get right back to Bears Best here in Cheongna right after this. long-range effort from the opposite side of the green from Jung will not have enough distance to get to the target. She will tap in and make it back-to-back pars and is officially through one hole of her back nine. The wind's certainly not helping EA1 on that approach, as she has landed that approach on the opposite side of the green. She'll have a lengthy look for birdie. Sung Eugene wouldn't call this lengthy, but rather mid-range with the way she has putt this weekend. It's 4.5 meters. If she can get it there, it takes her to 16 under par. It's got a chance. It's kept to the left. Over to 14, 81 meters out on the final par 5 of the round for Kochiu. These approaches have typically come to rest 5 meters out from the pin, and that is another to inflate that average. Well, the lead will likely remain safe as long as those pars continue to drop. And we'll see the final round highlights in a couple of hours, but it certainly was an interesting way to start the round. An eagle at the second on the par 5. Sung Eugene had holdout from the rough after coming up just shy of the green. It's a 16-yard hole in, and then she'd have her double at the par 4 fifth, and since then she has steadied out, continued to make up the ground and put some distance between she and the other 60 players who made the cut. This is the birdie look for Kim Soo-ji at this point in a battle for classification. Slight downhill putt with the wind at her back. It's got a chance if it's got the distance. Yes. A tremendous putt for birdie. Her 4th of the day, and she now finds herself in a share of P2. Well, a long swooping right to lefter. This is also looking good. Just dips out to the left at the very last second to prevent EA1 from another birdie. That would have been very well earned. We've arrived at the 11th tee. She's been averaging 223 meters per drive. And as we discussed earlier, the fairways and regulations from the opening 2 round dropping that FIR number. Looks unconvinced. Camera operator on the opposite side of the fairway still having a look for it, but well, there we go. Not her best, certainly not her worst. Jian Sol is perplexed by that miss. Usually when we see slight miscalculations like that, it is, okay, I concede I'm not getting the birdie, but most of the time when she's on the green, she's good for a guaranteed 2-putt. This one also goes slightly offline and is a tap in from the right of the pin, and another 2-putt par for Coach Yu on her way to 15th now. Idayan apart at the 11th. Unrelenting hunt to get back to even for the day. Finds herself in a tie for 4th at the moment. Hasn't had a single birdie in the round after finishing with back-to-back birdies yesterday at 17 and 18. Working out the plan of attack. Don't want to be playing your second from the rough, but she catches it clean. She's got a straight shot at it with no obstacles in the way. If anything, she's benefiting from the fact that it is a mid-left pin placement today. 19 meters at the apex, tailing off slightly to the right, but the weight control was perfect. Up out of the rough and onto the green, and keeping it light, as even when the shots don't come off exactly as planned, she's given herself more than enough room to be able to have those moments and not be feeling the pressure. 148 for Emi Jung. This has started left, and it's going to stay left as she misses the green altogether. Jin Sun now at 15. Going down the hill with this approach. 8 iron should be more than enough to get her there. Maybe it was too much. The tailwind certainly didn't help, gave her a little extra push, and she sails cleanly over the putting surface. Well, with the exception of Jian Sol, the top three, excuse me, not going to be putting a whole lot more space between them and the rest of the field. EA1 will collect another good haul of points, might even take her into 3rd position on the points leaderboard. She's certainly going to maintain her lead atop the rookie points. Look forward to having Yuhei Ran back out, imagine, next week. Park Ji-young second in the points and in the money. Lee Ga-young, Chung Yoon-ji, and Peng Min-ji are 3 through 5 on the money list. Peng Min-ji third in the points. Mata Som, Kwon So-yeon, Son Ye-bin, and Yoon Na are 2 through 5 on the rookie list. Well, a decent up onto the green out of the rough from Jung. Still should be able to save par with a nice recovery shot such as that. The sixth best greens in regulation this weekend, 78%. And EA1 is going for 6 iron off the tee. Drops it in beautifully. The line, the depth, it was all right there, and she should finally be able to reap the benefit of a birdie. Starting this up on the slope to the right. It's a pretty good swing, knowing how much that was going to slope down, just not quite enough power that time. Seven holes to play. The lead will likely dwindle a little bit, assuming EA1 can get her birdie, but she is still well and truly in the clear. She's got her game face on, never gets too high when things go well, never gets too low. Plodding away and working her way through this Lotte Open. So Jung trying to get to 7 under par. Needs to get to the right in a hurry. It's there. Well, she had previously been 4 over through the front 9, gets her first birdie of the day. Now to the fairway. 6.6 meters is the average distance remaining to the hole. Kim Soo-ji. Par bogey here at 13 thus far. Would love birdie here in the final round on Sunday. Well, handles the wind very well. Bounces up, and it's going to be admittedly a tricky downhill putt, but she has got it close. Well, a par at the 11th. Mimi Jung stays at 7 under. Well, the supporters vocalizing their anticipation as that ball made its way down. Lee Dayan again. It's not going to be much consolation as she is becoming increasingly frustrated by not having those birdies. But another par at the 12th. Well, still a bogey-free round. 3 consecutive pars now for Han Jin-son. Now Chien-Sol. Is there some late movement back towards the right? It comes a second and a half too late. That's a great view of how much side spin there was on that ball. EA1, after a brilliant tee shot. Has this for birdie? No. This distance has been costing her strokes all weekend long, including back-to-back bogeys at the 18th. She misses another one that she knows she should have. So she is unable to rein in the deficit to 5 strokes, excuse me. It remains at 6. Jian Sol having come back across the green, narrowly missing. She'll be looking for the par save here. Otherwise, she is dropping down to 7 under par. Able to hole out. Still 1 under for the day. She burst out of the gates on Thursday with a round of 68. She was 3 under on Friday, even par yesterday, and though she still has time for some more birdies, she is on pace for a 71. One will be frustrated to leave another one off the board. Her 10th par of the day, still at even, heading to the 13th tee. Well, not only is this Bear's best, but this stretch of holes, Bear's landmine, punishing mistakes, all kinds of hazards, especially the water, all around these holes, and in a situation where the lead would be tighter, could prove to be costly, but this is really the last chance the field has at catching Sung Eugene. They need her to have some of these difficult moments like Chanana has certainly experienced firsthand. Remember this one all too well. Yesterday on the 13th, staying in the hunt for oh so long, and then the hazard came into play, and then she couldn't get out of the rough. She'd stay. That short flop shot, and it looked like it might even be compounded as she went about 10 meters beyond and up the hill. Amy Jung, that would be able to prevent a triple bogey with that impressive putt to save a double. But yes, over the years here in Changna, Bear's landmine has claimed its fair share of victims. So far, no drop shots at the 13th, only 2 birdies of the 6 previous holes from this featured group. Sung Eugene, as she steps out and waits for the wind to settle, will be playing this tee shot with 5-iron. Oh, it's brilliant, and it's going to keep on rolling closer and closer. Could summarize her week. You just have to look at that approach. Another brilliant effort off the tee. Kim Soo-ji, if she has enough distance on this, she's at double digits under. Oh, wait, was nearly there, but it just leaves to the right side, and she will be settling for par once again. Her day should be commended. Up 6 spots, 3 under for the round, one of the lowest scores, trailing only Cho Ai-yan, who is 4 under today, as is Han-Chin Sun. But that's got her right now into a share of 2nd position. Oh, it's short, and it's nearly wet. I'm not sure how she's going to be able to even line up to take this, and Imi Jung knows that the landmine has caught her once again. If she tries to take a swing at that, she's either going to be standing with both feet in front of the ball, or her right foot's about to get wet. The first victim of our featured groups at Bears Landmine. Sung Eugene, however, as she's been all weekend long, faultless again off the tee. Well, narrowly missing another trip into the pond, and Jung, with her balance questionable at best, is going to be approximately 6 inches further ahead than she was when she took it the last time, and she's going to need a towel after that. Normally with a lofted shot like this, the ball's at your back foot anyways. It's the fact that she's kind of over it. She can't really grip into anything. And the way she's coming down at the ball, she's chopping at it more than she's swinging through it. And now I think she might even be buried. And with the way that didn't improve her situation any, she probably would have been better off if she was just in the water. So quick on the scene, the tour official, and she's making sure she is able to take her penalty and where she will have to walk back to play what will be her fourth shot. So already in for a bogey, and she'll still have an approach to make. In the meantime, also in a hazard, just of the sand variety, it's Lee Dae-yeon. That's a brilliant out from the sand. So it looks like Jung is going to head all the way back up to the tee in the meantime. So Jung, an attempt to get to 8 under from a long way away. It's a valiant try. Go back to the par 3 in a moment, but in the meantime, while we wait for Jung, here's Chien Sol from a much more favorable lie exactly in the middle of the fairway. And she's going to have a line, too much backspin, otherwise she might have had a chance at holing out for eagle. It's a brilliant attack. Unfortunately for Jung, making a bad day worse. All she wants to see is this ball up on the green. That's more like it. So that 7-meter putt will be for double bogey. Well, in the valley, at the bottom of the two slopes separating the front and back of the green, EA1 is able to get on the putting surface. And now this for double. I think this might go. I think this might go. Again, she avoids a triple. It is a nightmare 12th hole, but an improbable putt distance to prevent herself from dropping 3 strokes. Bears best gets the best of Jung once more. Yuni now putting from the fringe for birdie. That takes her up to 8 under. EA1 to get to 10 under. It's going to be a tricky uphill and then back down the slope kind of putt. Gets it within centimeters. Now after a lengthy delay, Sung Eugene walks in another birdie. It's 16 under par. And it's one of the best performances ever, at least on pace for it. She is nearing the joint record, or the record for a full four-hole tournament, of Kim Yo-Joo's 18 under performance back in 2020. Lee Daeyeon in that green grip on the putter. Might have run out of magic with that club. She'll settle for par once again. Jo Jung-min had a 23 under final tournament score back in 2018 when it was just a 3-round event. She went 65, 62, and 66 that year. Well, it's only 75 meters left to play on the 497 meter par 5 14th. The 6th has this hole beat for the longest hole on the golf course by 6 additional meters. Well, it's on line. That's in the bottom of the cup. Well then, what a shot, and now 11 under. So never say never. Kim Soo-ji is 5 under after one of, if not the shots of the day. Well, she is absolutely feeling her game right now. Tremendous stuff. She and Seoul. Okay, the good shots are pouring in all over the course. Well, she repairs the divot on the way to collecting that ball. Hopefully it's cooled off in time for her to pick it up out of the cup. One more look at this. She just cannot play this any better. That's about as rowdy, maybe even more rowdy than the bleachers behind the 7th hole. Definitely a round highlight. Now, if the wheels completely fall off, and never say never, this might get a little bit more interesting now. At least there's someone to put the pressure on. She continues to miss out on a bit of the accuracy off the tee. It's pretty much the only deficiency you can find in her game this weekend. Yusoyeon too has a pair of birdies in the past 4 holes. It's a bit of a remember me kind of moment. She was exceptional on Thursday. Cooled off a little bit yesterday, admittedly. 67 in round 1, even in round 2. A 70 yesterday, and starting to pick her way back up the leaderboard. Okay, well, there's a very different feel. Some new names now on the leaderboard. Kim Soo-ji, after that eagle, improves to 5 under for the day. She has 4 holes to play. The gap is 5. She's going to need a little bit of help from the top in terms of some bogeys. But since the double earlier in the round, Sung Yoo-jin has been near perfect. She continues to lead as we near the finish line here at the Lotte Open. Well, nicely down this par 5, the second shot for Jihan Sol from the left side of the fairway. Takes a good chunk out of the remaining yardage. Now it's pitching wedge for Sung Eugene, 119 meters from the rough. When she's able to reach the green, she'll roll right off it. Carried a ton of slope, and you can see the tailwind helping to influence that club selection. Otherwise, from that range, you're typically seeing 9-iron, especially out of the rough. Now EA1. A hybrid from 270 meters back. She'll come to rest just in behind her groupmate. Well, I'm convinced it's the way to do it. Just perch up in the backyard and watch everyone come on by. Wouldn't be surprised if there's some rental homes back there as well for golf fans. Let's go to the 17th, the penultimate hole. It's a 6-meter look for birdie. And Jin Sun needs to start moving to the right. It starts to move to the right. It just comes up a little bit short. So par at the second to last. Have one final opportunity to get to 9 under. Now Uni Na playing her second on the par 4. Approach down to the green, and she will be a fairway back yet. Avoids the water. That is likely a 2-putt scenario. Now, Pak Young, she is looking for birdie also at 17. Oh, tough break. Rims around the outside of the cup, and she has to settle for a par. A triple bogey at the 4th after a bogey at the 3rd. Another bogey in the round has her down to 1 under. And that is a tie for 29th position. This honestly isn't that bad of a miss at this hole, as you can see the pin placement today. Gives her a pretty clear lane. She starts it on the hill, but not quite enough power to get it all the way there. Now 97 meters from the edge of the fairway on 14. This typically sets up a 4.3 meter putt on average. That was not average. It was well below it as Jihan Sol is taking a trip to the beach. Now EA1's approach. Avoids the sand, lands with a thud, and the irony of that distance of a putt, those are the ones that she's been making almost lights out. It's when she's a meter closer that's been giving her a bit of difficulty. It's 203 meters off the tee at 15. Ball comes to rest before the sand trap in the middle of the fairway. Now the approach for Kim Soo-ji. She basically needs to birdie out, at least pick up 3 more if she wants a shot to try and catch Sung Eugene, unless she starts bogeying, which isn't really showing much signs of coming to fruition. She'll be able to putt from there. Finds the front left just off of the green. You can see she started this about 20 centimeters to the right of the cup. That's just enough to avoid a bogey. It's been another great day. 3 birdies, an eagle, and then that double bogey at the 5th. Otherwise, she would be at 18 under. Now Jian-Sol trying to blast this up onto the green. Looks decent from that angle. Looks even better from that one. Now 19 meters out for Uni Na. This too is starting on line. Okay. She's not going to get her birdie, but it's a really nice putt. EA1 again. That's the yardage with putter. That seems to be no problem for her. She gets another birdie from the mid-range effort, maybe even more than mid-range. Up to 10 under once again. And safely on, but towards the back quarter of that 17th green. Jian-Sol has this left for par to try and post another sand save and stay at 9 under. Of course, she's got that there. 4 holes to go and 9 under. That's better off the tee. Much better with driver for Sung Eugene. Loses the handle as she follows through, but it's not going to impact the drive. She will be basically side by side with Sung Eugene. Now Coach Yu at 18. For a longer tee shot, she's got to come back down towards the middle as she looks for birdie. And she's got it. Her 4th of this round, her first since hole number 4. And heading to hole number 72, she is at 9 under, where she shares that mark with EA1 and Jian-Sol. Now Kim Soo-ji putting from off the green. She's pushed it. Let's get you up to speed on what is going on. The LF has these points. This was entering this week's competition. Yuhei Ran, EA1, Peng Minji, and Park Ji-young unchanged first through fourth. Jian Sol and Lee Ga-young swapping spots for fifth and sixth. Lee So-mi holds her position at seventh. Chan Ye-sung moved up to eighth. Now playing the final hole of the round. It will be one that she'd love a do-over at. Only 8 of 17 greens in regulation. Part of the reason for her struggles today, down 13 spots into a tie for 29th position. Only 2 birdies on the round at the 2nd and the 14th. Bogeyed the 3rd and 15th and tripled the 4th. It's 150 meters even. Great contact. Interesting carom as it arrives on the green and it kicks it out to the right side of the putting surface. It's 137 meters. Slightly further ahead than Jung, though she too takes that hard snap to the right after landing on the green. She's rolled all the way to the fringe. Fading to the right, right towards the flag, but electing not to try and reach. It would have been basically a wood shot, and you're at that point losing any chance of staying on the green, so Sung Eugene goes a bit conservative. Advances down the fairway nicely. Now Uni Na on 17. Well, the wind's certainly helping the yardage here at this longest par 3 of the course. Finds herself in a tie for 6th position with the 3-under round in progress, the 3rd lowest on page 1 of the leaderboard. 5 shots separate Sung Eugene and Kim Soo-ji, with 5 holes to play for the leader who's had this almost wire to wire. Well, EA1 teeing off at the 15th. 330-meter par 4. Finds herself in the rough beyond the sand that separates the tee box from the rest of the fairway, but with how well maintained the course is, that shot out of the rough is not nearly as dire as perhaps it could be. "85 meters up and onto the green. The pin, you can see it to the left of that second TV tower, the red rectangle in the background. That ball bounces about 6 centimeters left of the cup and will be probably 6.5, 7 meters beyond target. That's 5-iron for Kim Soo-ji. Well, roughly the depth, excuse me, that she was aiming for. It is off to the left, however. Look at this approach. We'll carry on forward towards the cup. That is nicely out from the rough. Now Uni Na from the back of the 17th green. Needs some serious late breaking movement. It's just not going to come. She'll have that left for par. Now Sung Eugene, she's 2 back of the 4-round tournament record. Can she pick up another birdie here? No. So she will settle for par. Now from just beyond pin high, but the fringe to the right side of the green, it is Eun-Chin Sun. It's a great effort. Comes up just short in the end. Uni Na able to record her par, stays in a tie for 6th position at 8 under, heading to the last. Continues to take stride after stride in her rookie season, continuing to impress. She missed the cut last week, on pace for her 2nd top 10 of the season. Now Pak Young comes up just shy, one final chance to avoid a 1 under finish. Now a tap-in par 4 leader. 4 holes to play. Her advantage remains at 5 strokes. She is in cruise control. She's trying to stay focused, and she'll know that she's about an hour away from being crowned champion. So a 75 in the final round. Currently in a tie for 28th, but an unfortunate Sunday for Bak Young. Her highest score of the week. Same cannot be said for the charge up the leaderboard we saw today. It is a 68 in the final round. It is her best score of the week. Finishes with 280 strokes and a share of 6th position as she heads to the clubhouse. Kim Soo-ji doesn't quite have enough to get it all the way there. Idayon for birdie. She's been chasing this for oh so long. One of these have to go in for her. We'll take her back to even par if she can get it there. There it is. Persistence paying off. Her first of the day. Moves back to even. Bogeyed the first, pars all the way in between until this most recent hole. So into a tie for 4th. 3 to play. Tied for 4th is also where we find Coach Yu. It is 7-iron. A distance of 145 meters. Back of the flag. A little bit too much carry. It's about 10 meters beyond. Got all of that stroke, just didn't need all of it. Now EA1 for birdie to move into a tie for 2nd with Kim Soo-ji. No, again. These 4 or 5 footers have been her unraveling this week. Don't recall seeing anything quite like this where 5 meters to about 8 meters, no problem, locked in. But that exact yardage for about the 5th time this week has cost her a stroke, and it will cost her a chance at the win. She seemed to have straightened out the driver that had been giving her fits. It's another nice tee shot. And now Kim Soo-ji, the 76th ranked women's golfer in the world, rattles that down. Not quite going to be enough for the win, but it will match her runner-up tournament that she had at the 15th S-Oil Championship in 2021. And as such will be her best result of the season on tour. Twice tied for 6th. And at Doosan she finished inside the top 10. This will be her first podium. She had 2 in 2021. Same season she had 2 wins. Well, the rain has cooperated. It has stayed away, and it has made for a very playable, attack-friendly final round. We are nearing 3 p.m. local time in Cheongna. Time for another quick break. We'll be back with more from the Lotte Open. Here's Idayan on the 16th tee. Will be carrying a ton of momentum after that birdie.
왼쪽에 있는 나무?
Well, another piped drive down into that narrow fairway at 16. Kochiu on 18. One last swing to try and reach 10 under par. It will be the best result of her career. Might she be able to get a share of the podium? No, that's pulled in a big way. 14th last week at the E1 Charity Open. Missed the cut at the NH Investment and Securities Ladies Championship. Missed the cut the first 3 events of the season. 33rd at the first major of the year, the 44th KLPGA Championship, and 32nd at the 8th Kyocha and Honey Ladies Open. And she shouldn't be dropping outside of the top 5. A bogey-free round of 4 under par. The 68 is her lowest score of the weekend. It's a great day for the rookie. She'll be immensely proud with her performance today. Attacking the pin, as we've grown to expect. What else would we be bearing witness to from her? There are some days where you just seemingly can't put a step wrong. This week has certainly been that. Back-to-back birdies here at 17. She's got this final par 3 down to a science, and another great approach. Needs to bite. Jihan Sol standing over her ball. The 16th fairway. Well, she's safely on the green. We'll carry a little bit more, roll down a bit closer to the middle. A lengthy look at birdie. EA1 to follow suit at 16. That's a bit deeper. She has the opposite problem where she couldn't get it to stop in time. She'll meet the fringe. Lee Daeyeon's approach. Just hasn't been able to build on any momentum. Certainly a frustrating day out on course. She's not been poor by any stretch of the imagination, but she would have had much higher hopes for this final round on Sunday. While following her each and every step of the way and being rewarded. Performance of a lifetime, at least thus far. We haven't seen many of these moments today. Makes it a little bit more interesting down the stretch, but Kim Soo-ji is also running out of holes. Here's Uni Na. The rough at 18. Twice she's missed the cut this year. Her best results, P10, tie for 10th at the 44th KLPGA Championship, 13 at the Mediheal Hangul Bowl Championship. So she too is in line if she can find her par for a career best for the rookie. Now Jung, after settling things down a little bit with her misadventure at 12, has this remaining for a par. 5 under looks a lot worse than it was. It was really just one hole that was her undoing today. As the wind gust picks up, she'll step out in no rush. Very well, another hole in the books on her way into the first professional win of her career. Kim Soo-ji, if she can find a birdie up the hill into the wind, read the break, she'll have a bit more separation from EA1. Starts to turn at the end, but not in time. .71 holes down, 11 under is the score. The second best of our entire field this week. And now Uni Na can end her career best performance with a birdie. Not quite enough carry to get it there. But a par for a round of 69, it would be second to only her Friday score of 67. Idayan from the rough. Underneath the hole as well. Probably wants to land this about 5 meters short and let it run. Not quite far enough out of the thick stuff. Well, it had been 2 holes since she missed the fairway. She's to the left. And Soul trying to set up a par putt here. Starts to swoop in back online. The winner last week, Jung, poised for another top 10 finish. She had gone 71 in round 1, 2 under on Friday, 3 under yesterday, and is poised, in line for another 71 today. T9 at the moment. Now EA1 from putting from the fringe, and it sails away to the right. She's missed it. Her second bogey of the round, her first since the 3rd hole. So she finishes the day even out with the 36, in with the 36. And we'll head to the clubhouse. And a tie for 10th for now. And Junina one last stroke and a weekend to remember. Career best. 3 birdies on the way in and a washout in the front 9. So 69 to finish her week. Now Idayan, oh no, just to the inside of the cup. So after working so hard for her birdie, 13 consecutive holes with the par, she got it at the 15th, and she gives it right back up here at number 16. So her stay at 9 under short-lived. 2 more opportunities to get back there, though. It's a short putt that EA1 is able to have. Back-to-back pars now. On the wind, the flag flapping nearly right in Jian-Sol's ear. Doesn't phase her. 2 holes to play. Still 1 under for the day. Well, the course is starting to clear out. More and more players have reached the conclusion. The top 3 still out on course with just 3 holes to play at the most, and a 5-shot cushion remains despite Kim Soo-ji's 5 under round, currently on 18. Well, the approach out of the rough, and unfortunately for our leader, right back into it. Well, dare to say late round drama. This thing is almost certainly put to bed. But now EA1 at 17. She's taking 6-iron out of the bag. Well, the first 2 rounds, when the wind wasn't quite as favorable, we were hard pressed to see anyone get near the middle of the green, let alone the back of it. Suji continues her impressive parade. Onto the final hole. Chihan Seoul, it is 7-iron. Oh, that's great. Just bounces over top. Come to the fringe. Quite have the loft to have some spin back. Well, now the out from the rough is very shallow. Daeon teeing off at 17. 26 meters at the apex. It's starting to fade left. It stays on the green, but each of the 3 in this penultimate group going all the way to the back. Now 21 meters back after the approach from Jung. The distance was perfect. The putt was nearly perfect. It is a par at the 16th. She's amongst a handful of challengers who wish they could find a time machine and go back to the start of the day. 5 over is the tied for 3rd highest score of the day, and really you can point to 2 holes in particular where things came a bit unglued for Jung. Hasn't birdied all day. The double at 12, bogeys at 8, 7, and 4. Kim Soo-ji, no such difficulties on the day. 1 drop shot at the second, otherwise birdies at 2, 4, 7, 12, and the eagle at 14. The lead is all but wrapped up, but the battle for P2 is very much on between she and EA1. Currently 1 shot ahead. She can get to 12 under with a birdie here at the last. Starting on line, she's got a chance. Oh my word. Maybe 2 centimeters, maybe. Yeah, she can finish out now. She's earned that. So 67 in the final round. So 66 in round 1. Sole possession of second. And an incredible Sunday. 5 under par. No one was able to match that all day long. Sung Eugene needs this to avoid dropping. Well, she had the line. She hit the cup right in the center, just carried too much pace. So she will be dropping to 15 under par. Now EA1 from the fringe at 17. Another instance where it gravitates towards the hole. It looked left for the longest time, but she placed it well. Just not enough pace to get it there. So Jung, this looks great. Okay, so she's able to get another stroke back, so that takes her to 8 under, 2 over for the day, and back up into a tie for 5th position. There's Jihan Sol. Now has additional company at 8 under, unless she can hole out here. We've seen that they need a bit more pace than they think. Oh my goodness, another one from Kim Soo-ji from the fringe. Shades of last week. Well, it's the shot making she has and also the personality that draws the supporters, whether she's competing for the title or just slightly off. Okay, over to 16. Sung Eugene needs a quick reset to avoid a double. Little movement on this, but almost negligible. So she'll head to the final par 3, the second to last. And it's been quite some time since she's dropped a stroke here. Have to go all the way back to the 5th where she had a double. The only time over par on a hole so far this Sunday. Lee Dayan, she's gone bogey, birdie, bogey. Was hoping to continue that pattern and get the shot back, but it is the only of the 3 to miss right. A1, another par on the day. We'll head to the 18th. Once again at 10 under, it's where she was yesterday before the bogey. And Lee Dayan. It is par at 17. Well, while we wait for everyone to get over onto the tee blocks, let's go through 17 for the final time over the course of this week. This Bears Best hole takes its inspiration from the Heritage Golf and Country Club in Australia. The pin placement today, 6 yards from the left, 14 yards off the back. The wind has tempered slightly, but as has been the lesson the past few groups who have come through here, you need a little bit less club than you think. Sung Eugene for all of her holes where she's seen birdie since Thursday. She's yet to have one here at the 17th. Remarkably, it is the only hole except for the first where she can say that, and 18. It's decent power on it. Birdie's not out of the realm of possibility, and she can savor these final few holes. Basically half a kilometer separates her from the first win in her career. On her way down to the 17th green. Kim Soo-ji in the clubhouse, EA1 at 18. And it's looked like it's been written in the stars all day long, and it's nearly time to realize this career milestone for Sung Eugene. Well, after bogeying 16, Sung Eugene looking to essentially erase that from the scorecard with a birdie here. Hasn't struck it hard enough. So a tap in par. She's through 71 holes. What must be running through her mind in this moment? Everything she's worked towards, everything she's dreamed of. Jian-Sol has had more than a couple of those moments in her career. She goes off the back right, avoids the sand though, that's key. Lands with a thud, and we'll start to make a move back towards the middle. Nice bit of backspin to take all the forward momentum off of that. And Ye-Wan makes her way down. I'm sure when she went to bed last night, she had dreams that that walk would be to secure a title. Unfortunately, wasn't in the stars this week. Towards the left, but will stay in play. Nods her head with approval of that. Well, saves one of her best drives for last. We saw quite the outpouring of emotion last week, and rightfully so, from Jung Eun-ji when she finally was able to claim her victory. I have to imagine it'll be a similar sight down on the green. Imi Jung also into the fairway. The final tee shots of the weekend. No risk of a playoff on this Sunday. Flopped up, and this actually has the pace to get there. She's one of the most electric and exciting players on tour. One last treat for the supporters. Was tied for a runner-up last week, having made the playoff, and a round of 70 here on Sunday. 279 strokes from the first time she teed off on Thursday. A tie for 4th position. And everyone wants a piece of the action as we are about to crown the 12th different winner of the Lotte Open. Yu So-yeon won the inaugural event in 2011, shooting 14 under par. Chung Hae-jin in 2012, Kim Bo-gyung in 2013, Pak Kyu-jung in 2014. Just shy of a birdie. And that is the story of the day, unfortunately, for Lee Dae-yeon. So she will play her 280th stroke. It's a 73 in the final round, 1 over, tied for 6th as the dust settles. Well, she needs this birdie, EA1, if she wants to match her season best results. It's on the line and fitting, unfortunately, on 18, where that cup has been oh so cruel to her. But a really nice finish. 10 under par each and every day, and shocked everyone with a 64 in round number 1. She will finish on the podium. Would have wanted more, but the rookie, the best rookie, bar none, thus far in 2022, has another great week. Only 2 birdies on the day for So-yeon Jung at 10 and at 16. She'd love to be able to have one more. Although it would take quite the Herculean putt to find a birdie here. She's gone front right. I would have probably been in for an eagle if that was the first round when she made that approach. Now we meet Jung. One little bit of hazard and disappointment for her. Hadn't been able to find a birdie here all weekend long. 3 consecutive pars. She will be testing herself out of the hazard to try continue that streak. All pars as well for Sung Yoo-jin. She would need a quadruple bogey to let this tournament slip at this point. It's 8 iron, 133 meters to the pin, 3 meters downhill. And why not? Why not? One of the few things that had been missing was a birdie here. And with one last remarkable approach shot, the crowd and the soon-to-be first-time winner makes their way down to the 18th green. The closest she's come to the win, if you missed it earlier, tied for second at last year's BC Card Hangyang Ladies Cup. In 2020, tied for second at the McCall Yeongpyeong Resort Open with SBS. But today, her crowning moment, and they are announced as they arrive at the 18th green.
다음으로 KLPGA 통산 4승 메이저 챔피언 한국토지신탁 소속 임희정 프로입니다. 그리고 롯데 오픈 전 라운드 연속 1위를 지키고 있는 하나큐셀 소속 성유진 프로입니다.
Well, those gaps will probably continue to shrink. We know we will see Jihan Seol move up from 4th in the points. Yoo-Hae Ren having not participated this week. Jung up out of the sand. Oh, it skips back towards the cup. It was on for a moment. And even she, in a day where not much has gone right, can appreciate how close she came. Well, the end of a difficult one. It's a 78. She finishes 6 over. 4 under for the combined tournament score, a tie for 16th. And then there were 2. Chang Soo-yeon won the opening tournament of this season, the Lotte Rent-A-Car Ladies Open. Park Ji-young won the second, Yoo-Hae Ren the third, the next in St. Nine Masters. Kim Ah-rim won the 44th KLPGA Championship presented by Chris FNC. Cho Ah-yeon, the winner of the 8th Kyochun Honey Ladies Open. Peng Min-ji returned to the win column to defend her title at the 2022 NH Investment and Securities Ladies Championship. Hong Jung-min won the 2022 Doosan Match Play. A dramatic Sunday last week, 7 days ago. Chung Yoon-ji prevailed in a 5-hole playoff over Jihan Seol, Lee So-young, and Han Min-song. And now we will have a 9th different winner and another first-time winner on the LPGA Tour of Korea. She will soon ascend to her throne. She will have the red cape as well and the stunning trophy here, as well as a check for 144 million won. Patiently waits for her moment that she has so truly earned. One last bit of drama for So-yeon Jung. It's a 76 in the final round. Unfortunately, 5 bogeys before the 18th. And as we saw, there was one person and one person only in the field, one person and one person only in this group that was able to master the course. It is 4 over for So-Yeon Jung. She finishes in a share of 10th. But it would only be fitting for Sung Eugene to pick up one last birdie for 16 under and the championship. Well, she'll have to settle for par for the 4th time, but it's a tap-in and a historic moment in her career. Absolutely unstoppable from wire to wire. A 64 in round 1, a 70 on Friday, 69 yesterday, and a 70 today, on the way to the title in a tournament score of 273. And the 22-year-old finally climbs to the top step of the podium, your winner of the 2022 Lotte Open. The best is when you thank your fellow competitors for soaking you. It's never pleasant, but it's all a part of the experience. She's done it. I did it is right. Well, almost. One last birdie. It would have been fitting, wouldn't it? An eagle at the second, birdies at 6, 8, and 12, and a champion for the very first time. Well, the post-round celebrations, the awards ceremony will be next. And of course, get all of the crowning moments on the 18th green, as well as the final round highlights and the final leaderboard. We'll also hear from our champion in just a few moments' time. Every angle of the 2 putts she will always remember.
아, 여기? 네, 죄송해요. 아니야.
주인 축하해.
고마워요, 정아. 저 진짜. 그 다음에
마지막으로 일단 보기.
534, 454, 335.
이미정 프로님 393978.
네. 불러줄까?
433, 464, 334.
Well, as the scorecards are being signed and the 18th green is being prepared, I'll let you know that we are, of course, right back at it next week. The action hardly ever stops here. We'll be heading to Seohae-won for the Celtrian Queens Masters. A 1 billion won purse will be up for grabs, followed by the second major of the season, the DB Group 36 Korea Women's Open Golf Championship at Rainbow Hills. And this is the leaderboard. A win by 4 strokes. Final round score of 70. 4 under. Should rightfully be highlighted for Han Shin Sun and Ko Chiu. Yuni Na. A great round as well. Trying to keep pace with EA1, and the race for top spot in the rookie leaderboard is going to be tough. 4 over, of course, for So-Yeon Jung, a 76 today. Yu So-Yeon 2, a 2 over 74. 3 under from Jung-Sul Gi. Unfortunately for Imi Jung, as we bear witness to for the past 2.5 hours, a day to forget, to 78. Might be one of the high rounds of her entire season. Peng Min-ji at 1 under par. Ha-Min Song even to also finish at 1 under. The defending champion, Chanana, she went 6 under last year. That's all it took to win, as the course played so incredibly difficult. She goes 2 over today to finish even and a tie for 34th. Pak Bo-mi even with a 72 to finish at 1 over and a tie for 40th position. Down there we find Lee Ga-young as well, a 2 over 74. Kim Reem, it was a great round yesterday. Unfortunately, she couldn't replicate it today. Pum and Lee Nagyang with the 2 highest scores of those who made the cut. Well, the 3rd first-time winner this season. It's been an incredible start to the season. 9 of the 34 events down. Jung winning the 2022 Doosan match play, and it's now 3 consecutive first-time winners. I ran through the list earlier, but it's worth repeating. Yoo So-yeon winning in 2011, a round of 14 under, a tournament of 14 under. Chung Hae-jin, 7 under in 2012. Kim Bo-gyung, 5 under to win it in 2013. An 18 under 3-round score in 2014, remarkable from Baek Kyo-jung. Lee Jung-min, of course, a multi winner here on tour. It was 8 under for her in 2015. Pak Sung-won in 2016 was able to put together a 16 under performance. That is nearly what we saw from Sung Yoo-jin in 2022. 2017, the title would go to Kim Ji-hyun, 14 under par, 67 in the final round. And this, the tournament record, 2018, 23 under par from Cho Jung-min. 2019, the final year before we switched to the 4-round format. Kim Bo-ah, 14 under to win it. One of the best in the world still. Kim Yoo-ju, 18 under par in the 4-round competition last year. Chanana, 6 under par. And now, 2022, and a first-time champion, Sung Yoo-jin with a 15 under 273. Well, the photographers, the videographers assembling. The scorecards have been submitted. And while they finish the preparations, the championship interview with Sung Yoo-jin. Well, with the interview in the books, and before the ceremony begins, we will run through the final round highlights. We will begin from off the green. And sometimes you just know. An eagle on the second hole of the day, as if the advantage that she had put together wasn't enough. She goes right back to work, just 2 holes into the competition. Then Kim Soo-ji at the 4th. Tracking, and after bogeying following an early birdie at the second hole, it would be the second birdie of the day, on to the 5th. The only real bit of trouble all weekend long. Out of the sand, and right back off the green. She would stop for a moment and it would keep on rolling. And then the chip back. Yeah, not ideal. Even then, through the adversity, she could smile. And then pushing it, but not quite enough. So she would tap in for a double bogey to eliminate the eagle from early in the round, but on 6, she'd have some redemption, as would EA1. Her first birdie of the day, as it moves back just in time and drops in, would go on to be just 1 of 2 birdies for her in the round. Then the very next group to come through, a 92-meter approach from the right side of the fairway, and zips back. It's as easy as you'd like, making that par 5 look easy. To the 8th. One more, this time getting it done with putter. 2 birdies, an eagle, and a double bogey in the front 9, as she would go out with a 34. Fast forward to the 12th. More from Kim Soo-ji on the par 3. Such a fine line to walk. This downhill putt, and Kim Soo-ji makes it look easy. Her 4th birdie of the day. It would be her final birdie of the round, though she'd have some more magic in store. And a couple of groups later, down the hill from the tee blocks to almost the exact center. Catch a ride on the slope. And from there, she would make no mistake. This was the aforementioned magic, the 3rd at the par 5. You don't always know when the eagles are going to come, but as soon as this bounced, you had to have a feeling. One of 3 eagles in this final round. Cho Ayeon had the other, also at the par 5 second. And that would be the score that would take Kim Soo-ji to 11 under. She would par the rest of the way in. EA1 at 14, her final birdie of the tournament. Again, it has only just enough. She would go 4 straight pars on the way in to finish with a 64 in the day and wrap up her P3 position. And then to 18, where you'd have to look all the way down to Jung Sul-gi for one of just 2 birdies here today. Hong Ji-yeon had the other. That the approach from Sung Eugene. She nearly had her birdie, but it would just stay out to the inside, so she would take the slow walk around, tap in her 273rd stroke of the tournament, taking her to the top spot for the very first time early in her career. The preliminary douse And then the rest of the fellow competitors come forward to join in on the celebrations. Let's head down to 18 now for the awards presentation.
본격적인 시상에 앞서서 롯데 오픈이 성공적으로 개최되기까지 힘써주신 분들을 소개해드리겠습니다. 이번 대회 주최사인 롯데지주의 송용덕 대표이사님께서 참석해 주셨습니다. 박수로 맞아주시죠. 다음으로 KLPGA 강춘자 대표이사님 참석해 주셨습니다. 이어서 KLPGA 김순미 수석 부회장님 참석해 주셨습니다. 그리고 베어드댄스 청라 골프클럽의 박대환 대표이사님 참석해 주셨습니다. 네, 이렇게 롯데오픈을 위해서 자리를 빛내주셔서 정말 감사합니다. 그럼 지금부터 2022 롯데오픈의 시상식을 시작하겠습니다. 먼저 코스레코드 시상이 있겠습니다. 올해는 코스레코드를 한 명이 아닌 두 명의 선수가 같은 라운드에 기록했는데요. 그 주인공 성유진 선수와 이혜원 선수를 앞으로 모시겠습니다. 박수 부탁드립니다. 네, 시상에는 베어즈베스트 청라골프클럽의 박대원 대표이사님께서 도와주시겠습니다. 베어즈베스트 청라골프클럽의 코스레코드는 2018년 한국 여자오픈 3라운드에서 박주영 선수가 기록한 7언더파 65타였는데요. 이번 2022 롯데오픈에서 성유진 선수와 이혜원 선수가 1라운드에 8언더파 64타를 기록하며 코스레코드를 경신했습니다. 박대원 대표이사님께서 성유진 선수와 이혜원 선수에게 공동으로 시상을 해주시겠습니다. 시상으로는 300만 원의 부상이 주어지지만 이번에는 공동 수상을 하게 된 관계로 각 선수에게 150만 원씩 지원드리겠습니다. 축하드립니다. 네, 다소 아쉬워하는 반응인데요. 다시 한번 축하드리겠습니다. 시상자분께서는 자리로 돌아가 주시고요. 네, 이어서 다음 시상 순서입니다. 이번에는 아마추어 시상인데요. 이번 대회 돌풍을 일으킨 선수였죠. 참 쟁쟁한 프로들 사이에서 컷을 통과하며 총 3오버파 291타를 기록하여 아마추어 1위를 차지한 박서진 선수를 앞으로 모시겠습니다. 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 네, 시상에는 KLPGA 김순미 수석 부회장님께서 수고해 주시겠습니다. 아마추어 1위를 차지한 박서진 선수, 네, 우승 트로피를 수여해 주시겠습니다. 축하드립니다. 네, 시상 수표와 함께 기념사진 촬영을 진행하겠습니다.
한번만 왼쪽으로 한번 스톱 좋습니다. 자, 앞에 보세요. 자, 여기 보세요. 자, 가겠습니다.
아마추어 1위를 차지한 박서진 선수,
네, 감사합니다.
네, 다시 한번 축하드립니다. 네, 상황에서는 돌아가 주시고요. 이제 대망의 2022 롯데오픈 챔피언 시상이 있겠습니다. 지금 롯데체어에 앉아서 그 챔피언은 위험을 뽐내고 있는데요. 그 주인공인 롯데오픈 챔피언 성유진 선수를 모시겠습니다. 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 성유진 선수는 4라운드 합계 15언더파, 총 합계 273타를 기록했습니다. 이제 롯데오픈만의 시그니처 챔피언 테이프를 KLPGA 강춘자 대표이사님께서 수여해 주시겠습니다. 롯데오픈 챔피언 테이프가 성유진 선수에게 수여되겠습니다. 2022 롯데오픈 챔피언 성유진 선수 축하드립니다. 큰 박수로 축하해 주시죠. 이 챔피언 테이프가 성유진 선수에게 너무나도 잘 어울리죠. 기념 촬영을 진행하도록 하겠습니다. 네, 이어서는 롯데월드 타워 트로피 시상이 있겠습니다. 트로피는 롯데지주 송용덕 대표이사님께서 수여해 주시겠습니다. 정은지 선수 축하합니다. 네, 롯데월드타워 트로피와 함께 또 기념 촬영을 진행하겠습니다.
자, 수고하셨습니다. 자, 앞에 오세요. 자, 하나, 둘. 네, 감사합니다.
네, 이어서 다음으로는 시상수표와 부상시상이 있겠습니다. 우승자인 송유진 선수에게는 우승상금 1억 4,400만 원이 수여됩니다. 꽃다발도 함께 수여가 되겠습니다. 큰 박수로 축하해 주시죠.
자, 앞에 오세요. 자, 하나, 둘.
부탁드리고요. 네, 우승 상금과 더불어서 또 정말 값진 우승상 부상이 하나 더 있습니다. 황유진 선수에게는 2023 LPGA 롯데 챔피언십 출전권이 수여됩니다. 축하드립니다. 네, 너무나도 의미 있는 부상이죠. 2023 LPGA 롯데 챔피언십 출전권 다시 한번 축하드립니다. 네, 그리고 하나 더 있습니다. 덕시아나에서 1,000만 원 상당의 고급 침대가 부상으로 수여될 텐데요. 지금 전달하도록 하겠습니다. 네, 푸짐한 부상과 함께 황유진 선수가 우승을 차지했습니다. 기념 촬영이 진행되고 있고요. 네, 감사합니다. 시상자께서는 자리로 돌아가 주시면 감사하겠습니다. 네, 이렇게 송유진 선수가 생애 첫 우승을 또 와이어 투 와이어 우승으로 화려하게 장식을 했는데요. 그 챔피언의 우승 소감을 안 들어볼 수 없겠죠. 지금 요청드리겠습니다.
Well, that brings us to the end of another brilliant week here on the LPGA Tour of Korea. Analysts will weigh in as well, and